Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be researching niches and seeing how to find if a niche is going to be a good option for you to go ahead and start creating designs on. Now, you guys know when I create a certain design in a specific niche, I like to create multiple variations of that specific design, not only to give myself the biggest chance of getting a sale, but in general just increases probability of being seen. In general, if we attribute sales to one metric, that metric is attention, it's reach, it's impressions, it's views, it's clicks, and they all essentially, yes, they are a little bit different, but they all are in the same kind of area. And that's essentially an action that's a viewable action, but doesn't convert to necessarily sales right away. But the first step to get sales is to first get attention. So I'm going to take a few examples of keywords and kind of show you guys how I kind of look at this. So here is an example of a keyword, book club. And even though it's two words, it's still considered a keyword phrase. And if I search for the keyword book club, there's 13,000 results, 13,808 results here on Redbubble. And so the good thing about this is that Redbubble, since they only sell merch, right? It's not like they're selling, like things like Amazon. My research is going to be a little bit more precise here. If we go over here to Uber Suggest, which is a software for keyword research, I can type in the exact same word. I can type in book club. Now, the keyword book club, as it's loading here, I'm going to find out the amount of search volume that it generates per month. So let me just go over here to keyword overview for the keyword book club, and it's great. It gets 40,500 searches per month. But that could mean a lot of different things. It could mean joining a book club. It could mean where are the book clubs. There's a lot of different things over there. So what I really want to do is I want to view all keywords, and I want to look for anything that says shirt or a sticker or any kind of thing that relates. But really what I'll do is I'll just type in that item name over here because I want to figure out, is it practical for me to get a sale in that area? So if I type in book club shirt, you could see here the book club shirt gets 170 search volume per month, right? If we write book club t-shirt, that sells 210. Book club shirts, 170. So shirt and shirts by Google are basically the same thing. These two keywords, they're the same thing. Here we have Aaron Rodgers book club shirt, so that's not going to count. Bell's book club shirt, book club t-shirt ideas, so these are really probably for creators that search that kind of stuff. So you could see here, if we had to attribute a certain amount of search volume for this specific keyword, specifically for shirts, you get 210 plus 170, right? And I bet you if I search for something like stickers, it would sell less, right? So, or it would search for less. So let's go ahead and see here, book club stickers, and let's see what comes up. Yep, I was right, 50 search volume. So really, the niche is kind of small. But you're probably looking at maybe 500 searches per month, whether it's stickers, whether it's shirts, whether it's coasters, whatever the case may be. It's about probably 500 because nobody's gonna buy a duvet cover or a poster or something like that for a product like this. So based on the search volume of 500 something searches per month and a result count of 13,800, that really makes this kind of niche probably not a good niche to jump into. I think this is a good tip for everybody is ask yourself logically, out of the 13,000 competitors, right? You got to think, out of the people who are searching, out of the 500 people, let's say on average, if we added up all the different, little words after the word book club to, essentially take a guess for what they're going to buy, how much do you think out of the 500 are actually going to make a purchase? It could be 10%, it could be less, it could be more. Let's just say 20% to be fair, right? So let's say almost a quarter of that 500 are actually going to make a purchase, because you guys got to be aware, conversion rates do exist. Not every single person who searches for example, book club shirt is going to buy. I think that's fair, right? Some people might be looking at the idea of book club shirts. Some people, maybe they're just interested, whatever it's, the case may be. But out of the keyword, you would think logically that maybe 10% of the people are going to buy, 20%, right? That's if they're serious about buying. And so let's just say 20% on average, which is dramatically high. But let's just say that means roughly 20% of whoever's searching for the keyword. So in this case, let's say, maybe 100 people, right, out of 500 are going to be very interested in searching. On Redbubble itself, right, for the keyword book club, 13,800 results. What's the likelihood that you're going to be able to sell in a niche like this and actually succeed? Now, if we look at some of the something that I like to do is I like to look at what the top accounts are doing, like how did they get to the top, and something that I always like to see is when did they create their accounts? When did they create their what year did they create their Redbubble accounts? So, for example, this person here who created the very first one, this one, they don't actually say. Maybe I could go to the profile. Doesn't say either, but seems like they've been around for a while. They have 5,000 plus favorites. Let's go ahead and click on this. The second one joined in 2020 of June. Okay, so that's really not that bad. That's actually pretty good. And let's go ahead and take a look at this. So joined in February of 2020. So maybe, and if I go over here to bestsellers, I'm just curious what's going to be the best selling item. Okay, so the best selling item happens to be the book club sticker. That means they're kind of getting low sales if you think about it, because you got to think about it realistically, right? Google is going to be the godfather of all search engines. There's not going to be another search engine that gets more traffic or more searches than Google, okay? There's a lot of more people that know about Google than that know about Redbubble. And so they're going to go to Google first. They're going to find search volume. Now, you can sit here and make the argument to me, and I'll agree with the argument, that there might be people who are specifically coming to Redbubble and searching book club. But let's be honest, is that number going to exceed what numbers Google is having? Probably not. Why? Because there's just a larger sample size who are competing or who are searching on Google than they are on Redbubble. That's just a pure fact, right? If there's 7 billion users on Google, there's not going to be that much on Redbubble. There's going to be maybe a tenth of that, whatever the case may be. So this is kind of just a way how I ascertain the value of a certain niche. Let's do another example. So let's type in, let's do this live. Let's type in tigers, right? Let's say I want to create content in the tiger niche. So let's go for t-shirts and let's search tigers. And let's kind of see what comes up here. So we have 156,000 different tigers. Now, right away from what I see here, I could see a whole bunch of different animals here. This is a greyhound. Here we have things that really don't even relate to tigers. I think the first few rows don't relate to tigers. Obviously, here's tiger sharks. But you got to think, eventually, guys, Redbubble is going to fix this. So for the people that are tag spamming like this, it's not going to help them. It's not going to help them because the person here is searching specifically for tigers, and they're getting results that are not related to tigers. But this is actually a benefit to us creators now, because if you end up on the second page of Redbubble, the third page, when you get results like this increases people's motivation to go to the third page, the second page, the fourth page, etc. But this kind of shows why you should, as a Redbubble seller, be very specific with your keywords. So let's just select Bengal tiger because I was kind of broad with tiger. So Bengal tiger. Okay. Now we have 4,551 searches, 41 searches. Not bad. All right. So let's go ahead and search the exact same keyword on Google search volume, and let's paste it here. Take a look at the keyword overview. And now we've gotten the other way around. So a ton of searches on Google, 49,000 searches, and we have 4,500 searches on Redbubble. Now, just off the numbers alone, I would say this is a more formidable niche, right? For the keyword specifically Bengal tiger. But then again, you have to ask yourself, let's take a look at when these guys got to the top. So let's take the top 3, and let's say when these guys created their accounts. I believe the age of the account on Redbubble does matter. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out the science behind the algorithm, but you could see here This one who got the first, let's see, kind of take a look at their tags. They have some basic tags, so clearly not tag spamming, or maybe they are. I don't know what Daniel Ranger is. Let's go ahead and take a look at what Daniel Ranger is. Like I said, guys, this is what I do when I look for certain niches, and I decide, okay, I'm going to create 60 designs in this niche. Okay, so Daniel Ranger is the guy who actually creates these designs, so that makes sense. Siberian tiger, Bengal tiger, hunter, stalker, predator. See, if I click on hunter, okay, I doubt that their design is going to be on the first page even. Because once again, it doesn't necessarily relate. Like if I'm a hunter searching for something that's hunter related, I want to see hunter related t-shirts. I don't want to see a picture of a tiger. Does that make sense? That's an example of tag spamming. So that's kind of, and this proves my point, is that their design is not on the first page. But if we go over here once again to Uber Suggest, and now we search for, because Bengal tigers could be a lot. So if we search for shirt now, right? If we search for Bengal tiger shirt, let's see what comes up. And obviously Redbubble is not just shirts, but see, now it becomes drastically low. You're looking at 30 searches per month for the keyword Bengal tiger shirt. And now, as we know, there's 4,000 different results. So you're looking at an example of a t-shirt that's just too saturated. There's too much there, right? For 30 search volume a month on Google, how many people do you think from Google are actually going to click on your image? And like I said, this is the root cause of why people fail on Redbubble, is because they're creating a bunch of designs that have very low search volume for the specific product, and they're doing it with a whole bunch of other competitors. So you can see here 4,000 plus results, and they're expecting to get some sales. Now, if I was to expect to get some sales out of this niche, you know what I'd probably do, guys? I'd probably create about 600 designs if I wanted to really succeed. Because what I have to do, or maybe even the 1,000 designs, just specifically for this one keyword to actually succeed. And when I say succeed, I mean get consistent sales on a month-to-month basis. And the reason why is because if I create only one design or two designs, or let's say 4 designs, that's not enough, essentially, needles in the haystack to be found. Does that make sense? So I'm using this needle in a haystack analogy to kind of explain the process here. Is that you have to remember, whenever you post in a niche this big, right? Which this is small, by the way. 4,500 results is a small niche. But whenever you post in a niche this big, 4,500 results. Imagine if I took 4,500 straws. I put them in a box. And then I took one bamboo skewer, okay? And I put it in the box with the 4,500 straws. And I said, find me the bamboo skewer. You're going to take hours. You're going to have to stick your hand around. You're going to have to shake it around. You're going to have to figure out where you can find it, right? And especially if I tell you, hey, you can't click on anything, you can't touch anything, you just have to look and tell me where the bamboo skewer is. Then it will really take hours, right? This is kind of the game that people play, is that they're that one bamboo skewer amongst 4,500 with only 30 people looking for them, right? And it's kind of hard to pinpoint one out. So if I were you, when it comes down to finding a good niche, make sure that the search volume is somewhere close to or exceeds the size of the niche. So, and this is not necessarily a trending idea, but this is why you have to find what's called an open market. There are certain times where I find open markets on Redbubble, and I don't have to kind of barrage my way in. Like, for example, there are certain niches where, yeah, I do take the chance. I do post when I don't think I have the chance, but that's only because I think my design is much more superior. That's really it. Because I believe that if the design is that superior, it will stand out. But let's be honest, with Bengal tigers, how superior of a design can you be? They're all pretty much the same. I mean, not to be disrespectful, but they all look great, is what I'm trying to say. Like, how much better can you get than what you're seeing here? It's hard to get better than this, right? And at that point, it's just preference over, performance, really. Somebody might like this design over this design. Somebody might like this one over this one. It's just preference at that point. There's nothing really that you could do about that kind of decision making. So the best idea is, if you really want to succeed, if you really want to push the boundary in terms of sales, the hard part is finding these niches. And like I said, it comes partially from your imagination, partially from research tools, but figure out tools that can can kind of, or not even tools, but figure out different keywords and different ideas that have a decent search volume that fit for the product that you're trying to find. And lastly, for the last tip, and this is arguably the most important tip, if you want to rank for a keyword, put that specific keyword in the title, and that's it. Don't add anything extra to it. Don't change it. Don't do anything. So, for example, if I want to rank on Google, for example, for the word Bengal tiger, that's exactly the keyword that I'm going to put in my title. I'm not going to switch it up. I'm not going to say cool Bengal tiger. I'm not going to switch it up and say, tiger wearing a headband, cool Bengal tiger. Like, I'm not going to spam any of my keywords, because the title is what Google is going to pick up on, right? So let's say I wanted to rank for African wildlife tiger. Like, that's the keyword that I want to rank for. Then that's the exact keyword that I'm going to put in my title. I'm not going to switch it around. I'm not going to change things up. It's going to be the exact keyword in that exact order. And that will give me the biggest possible chance to get on Google with my specific design, right? Because there's going to be a certain percentage of people that are searching for it, and there's going to be a certain percentage of people that actually buy. That percentage might be drastically low, right? There's no guarantee, but it's still giving me a shot at the game, right? And lastly, guys, even though I kind of said that twice, but lastly, keep in mind that every keyword you search is its own niche entirely, right? If we take, for example, the quote-unquote tiger niche, that's one niche. That's the word tiger. Now, there are many different sub-niches under it. You could have tiger head, tiger stripes, Bengal tiger, tiger face, African wildlife tiger, baby tiger, bobcat. Those might be different niches underneath it as sub-niches, but they're not. But they are their own niches as well, right? When you say the tiger niche, it's not a niche that, and that's kind of the best way I choose to think about it. Because if you told me, Mark, what would you rather compete in? The African wildlife tiger niche or the tiger niche? I would say the African wildlife tiger niche, because if I click on African wildlife, right, and I type in tiger at the end of it, okay, let's see how many searches that gets, or how many results. Drastically lower. Now, when somebody searches for African wildlife tiger and there's 1,500 designs, now I say, okay, I have a chance to compete here. I have a chance to win here because there's less results, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this information helped you out, maybe gave you a better idea of what to do when it comes down to getting sales on Redbubble and picking the right niche. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and say that, if you compete for a design that has a ton of results, that you won't be successful. You absolutely could, but we're talking about probability here. We're talking about success rates, and I want to give myself the highest success rate possible when it comes down to designing on Redbubble. All right, I'll talk to you later. Peace.